podcast Figuring Life Out. I am your host, Jimena Coronado. I am a journalist and a social communicator, marketing professional by experience, writer by vocation. I consider myself a mind renewalist, compassion and empathy ambassador. The objective of this podcast is to share with you different stories and examples of how the way we process our thoughts have consequences in our lives, in our successes and our failures. I do not have all the answers, but I want to share with you the process I have been through until now, so I can save you part of the journey, and at the same time, I will continue to build my healing process. I hope I can help you to build yours. I do not have all the answers, but I do want to share with you the process I have been through until now, so I can save you a part of the journey, and at the same time, I will continue to build my healing process. I hope I can help you to build yours. You will find here someone who understands you, because there is someone walking the same journey as you. And my wish is that you can also help me to build a community where we can help, support, and encourage each other. Let us form an army of mighty warriors. Hello everyone, and welcome to a new podcast of Figuring Life Out. Today, I want to talk to you about hope. Where is hope located in people with negative thoughts? When you're a person that struggles with battles on your mind, hope is a target from the opposite army, and it is one of the first members they may want to put down during the war. And if people lose hope, they lose everything, because as the saying goes, hope is the last to die. While there's life, there's hope, Stephen Hawking said. That is why people that fight with thoughts in their minds are always feeling this hopelessness. In the battlefield of the mind, it looks like there are no shades, just black or white. This always happens to me, I'll never be able to do this or that. And as you can see, these words take power away from us because they will always make us feel that the situation is helpless and that there is nothing to do. To start with the topic today, I would like to explore some meanings of the word hope. Scientists define hope as an important topic in positive psychology, referring to an individual's goal-oriented expectations that include both the desire to achieve goals and also finding ways to achieve those goals. According to the hope theory formulated by positive psychologist Charles Snyder and his colleagues, hope gives people the will, determination, and sense of empowerment that allows them to reach their goals. This is my favorite meaning, and I took it from the book of Hebrews from the Bible. The hope is an anchor for the soul, firm and secure, that even when we go through heavy storms and uncontainable winds, our boat will remain steadfast. Hope dares to give when no one is sharing, John Maxwell said, and this quote shows a bit of the position that I want to share with you today. Most of the declarations, books, movies, etc., that have left me breathless, and not in the good way, are those where the hopelessness prevails. And me, I am always willing and fighting for being in the pro-hope team. I myself have struggled with a lot of battles in my mind, and unfortunately, it has been hard for me to make hope take root in my heart. I remember once I asked my coaching teacher what was his opinion about counselors and coaches that made a lot of emphasis in things that are impossible to achieve, justifying their position with realism, and he told me that probably they were projecting their insecurities in the session. I think that there is nothing that cannot be achieved, most of all if others have achieved that before us. Obviously, there are things that are impossible and that will be easy to be perceived as impossible by anyone, but for the rest of the things, everything is possible, he said. And you know what? That is what I think too. Please, don't pay anyone to tell you what you cannot do, and that is my opinion as well. Anyway, everyone is free to have their own way or style to coach and give advice, but I like what he said because I felt empowered. It's been said also that a person can live 40 days without food, 4 days without water, 4 minutes without air, but only 4 seconds without hope. I do not know if that is actually true or not, but it makes sense. I remember some days that I was feeling a little bit bitter and emotionally tired, and I started to analyze myself. What can be happening? Why is this happening? Then I realized why it was happening. One day I had hope and the other I did not, and the same every day, like the waves from the sea, coming and going. And that is why I was tired. It is like I was in a crossroad. One day I took the left road, but then I decided I wanted to take the right. So I went back and to the right, but then I wanted to go back to the left. And one thing is to be stuck, which is already bad, but another one is wasting your energy and not even moving forward. That same day, I felt in my heart the voice of my divine wisdom that told me, if you're going to believe something, you better believe it, for good. Be steadfast. This does not mean that you won't find detractors in your way, or circumstances that would try to prove you wrong. But please, if you're going to believe something, believe no matter what. In my opinion, again, don't let others to decide if you need to have hope or not. This choice is yours. You owe it to you. Hold yourself accountable for it. Do you want it, the hope? Do you need it? Can you handle it or not? Personally, what has changed my life the most is to have Jesus' life as an example. Most of the times I ask myself, what would I say to a friend? Will I recommend them to have hope or not? And of course, you have this deep feeling of responsibility inside of you about what will happen if you tell them to hope for something and then nothing happens. But for the believers and also for the non-believers, there is not one person that has an encounter with Jesus and was touched by him somehow that did not finish their interaction with him feeling encouraged and with a lot of hope. Everyone that had the privilege to meet with Jesus was never the same, and I don't think that kind of transformation can be obtained without a message of hope. A 2002 University of Kansas study led by C.R. Snyder looked at the role hope plays for students. The researchers found that students low in hope had greater anxiety. Most of you must know already that I love to use the lenses analogy in my speeches. And in this case, I understand hope and anxiety to be different lenses that you can choose to see the future through. You choose your lenses. What will you prefer, to see your future through the lens of anxiety or through the lens of hope? Ron Carucci, organizational change consultant, put it this way. Hope isn't the alleviation of fearful risk or the sidelining of anxiety. It's the choice to see beyond the current circumstances to something better despite the presence of those feelings. So, what are the benefits of hope? According to a Newport Academy article, having hope for the future helps build our resilience. That is the ability to get through tough times and recover more quickly from setbacks. It reduces anxiety, trauma, and depression. The article also mentioned that people who are hopeful are people that are more likely to attain their goals, to do better academically and also professionally, are people that would choose healthier lifestyle habits, they will cope with and recover better from illness, they'll experience higher life satisfaction, and they'll have a stronger sense of meaning and purpose. Now, your question may be, how can I cultivate hope? Some of you may say, oh, but I am not a hopeful person by nature. Hope is like a muscle, which means you have the possibility to strengthen this muscle. Here are some ideas explored as well by the Newport Academy. First, focus on your strengths. Recognize your strengths and think about how you can use them to help others. Remembering and using our personal strengths can make us feel confident. We can overcome anything that comes in our way. Second, practice gratitude. I know you've seen and heard this before 1,000 times, so if it is that common, why don't we give it a shot? Studies show that being grateful has better benefits even than forgiving and being patient. When you are grateful, you are focusing on the good things intentionally, and this is a decision as well. Third, change your way of thinking. Do not let negative thoughts in your mind. Decide which thoughts will stay in your mind. This is your decision. Take control of your mind. That is your territory, no one else's. Dispute and challenge your current thoughts. Is what I'm thinking real? The fourth point is the exposure to the media. What are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you reading? If your playlists and ebooks are full of drama and negativity, guess what? That will be your lens. The fifth point is social media. Do not compare yourself. Also, do not compare your worst moments with what people post in their social media, that most of the time is their best moment. You have your own talents and skills. Stay in your own lane. 6. Who are you surrounded with? People in our circle influence our life whether we plan it or not. If you have negative people around you that are always disencouraging you, this will pull you down. Choose wisely the people you will let to speak into your life. As you can tell with all these points, the road towards hope is full of decision. What will you decide today? You have two ways in front of you, hope and hopelessness. There is no way in between. Choose today the brighter side, the brighter path. You have got the power to decide. Deuteronomy 30:19 says, "This day I call the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live." Hope is life. The power of our words brings things to life. So let's be hope proclaimers, reflecting Jesus as our living hope. Great influencers are great hope proclaimers. When we, like Jesus, declare good news, freedom, and the time of God's favor, we liberate captives and release the blind to see. I'll choose hope. And you? Thank you for listening to my podcast today. I appreciate the time you spent in hearing what I have to say. I hope the story I shared today will help you in your process. If you consider that this podcast has blessed you or helped you somehow, please do not hesitate to share it with others and in your social media. And don't forget to tag us at Figuring Life Out Podcast. If you want to share a story or suggest a topic, shoot me a DM at Figuring Life Out Podcast on Instagram. Together, we can change the world through the transformation of our mind, one at a time, one step at a time, one person at a time. Hope I can count on you for my next episode. Until next time,